Hello everyone, this is a novel by Jack Kerouac, On the Road. I wanted to do just a quick update about this novel or a quick review of this novel. Um, uh, I've read this novel, the first time I've read this novel, I was 19 years old back when I was in university. And I remember hating this novel, hating the characters. I detested everybody in here. And in fact, they are kind of detestable characters. I mean, they're very sort of self-centered, narcissistic characters. But that doesn't mean that it's not a great book. I mean, this book stayed in my memory, and on my second reading, or on my second read through, I realized just how much of an impact this book had on me when I was like 19, going into my early 20s. Um, it's a very fast-paced book. It's like you're going 1,000 kilometers an hour. It does not stop. It has a very unique writing style, and in part, that's what sort of made Jack Kerouac famous as being sort of like an icon or a literary icon of some sort for the war generation. Later came to be known as the Beat Generation, in part because of him and the circle of friends around him. On my second read through, of course, I read this book in Arabic, and I must say that the translation of this book was excellent. The translator, in his introduction, went very deep in trying to set a cultural backdrop to the events that take place in the novel, where he talks a lot about how who were the main players of the Beat Generation, what was the mood back then in the 1940s. He goes into trying to explain a lot about jazz and bebop, fast jazz, which was pretty incredible. And the translation itself was very good. Anyways, I'm so glad that I reread it again 11 years later, and came to realize just how amazing and important this novel is. It's a novel about Sal Paradise, his friends, his circle of friends, Dean Moriarty and Karl Marx, and their journey through America and trying to find some kind of meaning, some kind of new orientation to sort of set themselves to after the Second World War. It's a novel about jazz music. It's a novel that has a lot of American pop culture references. It's a novel about adventure. It's a novel about complete sort of abandonment and a complete abandonment of oneself to in trying to find new experiences. I definitely recommend it. The writing style might put some people off at first, but it's actually you get into the rhythm of reading it. You know, it's a fast-paced novel, and I think it sort of demands to be read quickly, in a sense. Anyways, this has been an update for Jack Kerouac, On the Road. I'm so glad that I went back to reading it, and I think you should too. And I'll possibly do a longer review, speaking about the themes and trying to talk about more about the background to this novel and the background to jazz music. Funnily enough, throughout the years and throughout me reading literature, and partly due to me reading American literature, I became a much bigger fan of jazz music. And certainly in the past 3 years, I've been listening to a lot of bebop. I've been listening to a lot of fast jazz. So, and also partly due to other writers that I'm a fan of, that have a lot of jazz references in their novels, like Murakami. But yeah, definitely worth a reread. It's a great novel. I think it's a very important novel. And what was very interesting to me is that the way he was talking about, he references, Arabs in his novel, in this novel, like quite a few times. And it was very interesting to me on like what was the cultural, like, how people, how different groups think about each other, and in a certain period of time. Certainly, I remember when reading May Alcott's books, what's that book called? I forgot. Anyways, in May Alcott's books, she, the way she talks about sort of like Germany and Russia is completely how it's very different to how people in America talk about them today, at least in my opinion. And so that was very interesting. Anyways, great book, definitely worth a read. I'm so glad I reread it again. I'm so glad I sort of like was aware. I had my gut instincts were telling me that this actually is this book is worth a reread because it actually had a big impact on me, a bigger impact than I was willing to admit to. Anyways, On the Road, Jack Kerouac. Read it.